We knew probably around 12 to 18 months out, we'd be looking for a new principal because Russell was moving towards retirement. We actually know exactly the aims of our school, and that doesn't change from principal to principal. So what we're really looking for is character in the man or woman who would be the successful candidates. And the two real non-negotiables were academic leader and spiritual leader. When we met Don, we really felt a clear leading from God that this was the right person. But one thing that stood out very clearly with Don is his confidence in who he is as a person, who he is spiritually, and who he is as a leader. And the interview wasn't so much of him trying to impress us as a panel in his leadership skills, in what he's done. His interview was quite different in that there was a confidence about him that really inspired us as an interview panel. He actually knew his skills, his strengths, he could identify some of his weaknesses, and he was very confident in who he was as a professional, who he was as a spiritual leader. And that made the interview process really interesting because as we progressed with Don, it really became about exploring whether he was a good fit for King's. And the more we did that, the more it became apparent that he is an excellent fit for us as a school. We're excited for lots of reasons about what Don will bring into King's. We're very sure that he is the person that God has given us as a school.
What's your name?
My name is Mr. Donald Grimmett. Yeah. Oh, Donald James Grimmett. What's your full name?
My name is Elise Josephine Andrew.
Oh wow, very good.
What's in your bag?
So what I've bought are a few extra things that actually represent what I do, what I enjoy. Okay, so would you like to have a look?
Yeah.
Oh, incidentally, do you notice the beautiful name that's on my bag?
Yeah.
Ultimate Grace, that's the name of my boat. But we'll talk about that in a sec. Let me see my family. That's my family. So I have 3 boys, James, Mackenzie and Harrison, and my wife's name is Sandy. So that's something that's really important to me. Do you know what that is?
A fishing rod.
Oh, a fishing reel. I couldn't bring the rod, it wouldn't fit in the bag, all right? So I like going fishing. We talked a bit about my boat, so the other one is this. Do you know what that is?
No.
So that's a compass. Okay, so when I'm sailing, I can actually look through there and get a bearing on some land so we know where we are, because that's important when you're sailing. What else would you like to know?
Well, I don't. What's your favourite tie?
This is my favourite tie. A very dear friend of mine gave me this. Would you like to see my favourite book?
Yes.
Now I put books into 2 categories, all right? One is really important, like instruction book. I have my Bible, which is like my instruction book for life, okay? So I spend a lot of time reading that, helping me to know what I need to do and when I need to do it, all that sort of thing. So that's an important instructional book, all right? When I finished reading that, this is my favourite book for rest and relaxation. Can you see what that is? So it's the world's best sailboats. Sometimes, all right, I'll read the Bible and I don't quite understand it. Does that ever happen to you? Yeah. All the time, all right? So do you know what I do when I don't understand it?
What do you do?
I'll read this one. What's that? That's the children's Bible.
You're still a children.
Yeah, I am. You've got it exactly right. And you know, this is a very special one because, can you read that?
King's Baptist Grammar School, Harris, Grimmett.
Yes. So I was here before. Did you know that?
No.
17 years ago, I was working at this school. Back when my youngest son was born, the school gave him this children's Bible. And so that sits on my shelf So it helps me to understand some of the stories a little bit better.
Why do you want to be our new principal?
Because, well, I said to you that I spent 5 years here 17 years ago, and I had such a wonderful time, and I felt so loved during that time that when the job came up, I thought that would be great. That would be great because I only spent 5 years at the King's all those years ago. It would be great to come back and become part of the community again and be around people like yourself, okay, and spread God's love and good news around.
Do you play any musical instruments?
I do when I'm invited to play, yes.
Can you play for us?
Would you like to hear? It'll take me just a minute to set up. Is that all right? There you go.